Hi there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. So glad that you are here with me as we dive into a brand new episode. And it's time to speak truth, have an aha moment, and talk about what to do when you start feeling the heat. But before we go any further, I have to ask you, are you needing a speaker for an upcoming event or conference? If so, I am your person. I would love to bring the Find Your Fierce message to your next function. And to book your event, message me at jill@jillallencoaching.com. And I love that you're here listening in and spending time with me. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You guys are just all so amazing, and I thank you for your love and support. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and the Set Free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be incredible, because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you again. So let's dive in. Are you ready? Sometimes life gets a little fiery. Things go wrong. Good is threatened, and we're left to face an uncertain situation that could get worse. And so what do we do when we start feeling the heat? What do you do when the flames grow bigger? What do you do when things go up in smoke? Where is God when the fire blazes in your life? I mean, does he not have the power to stop it, or does he just not care enough to do something about it? Which is it? Because sometimes we really want to know why bad things happen to good people. And if our God is so, powerful and loving all at the same time, then why isn't he showing up with the sirens and the flashing lights and the fire hose in our fires? And I'm not one of those perfect believers that has never asked why. I'm going to be really honest with you and tell you there have been times where desperate prayers have seemed to be unanswered, and others, small prayers, have been answered immediately. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm over here praying that the prayer of the Lord, please help my kids find their way, or what's my purpose in life? What am I going to do here? I'm middle-aged and, I'm lost, or, help me let go of any hurt, or, where others are praying about where they should go on vacation, what to have for dinner that night, where to go get their hair done. And I'm thinking, shouldn't God have some sort of pecking order or some level of importance? I'm over here dialing 911 on fire, and I feel that God is overloaded with these little requests. And it was that thinking that led me to only praying when it was big. God became my emergency call when only I needed massive help. I mean, he was the only to be contacted for emergency purposes. And if I called him in prayer when it wasn't really an emergency, I might be wasting his time. I mean, seriously, that's the way I viewed prayer. Because in my head, he was doing, bigger things. He was busy doing more important things for people in bigger fires than my own. And is that the way that you treat prayer? Are your knees, are they on reserve for when you really can't stand? I have to laugh. What a trick of the enemy to make us look around in our fire and believe God is answering insignificant requests while ignoring our own. What a horrible twist of the truth to make us believe God can only handle one request at a time. So instead of bringing everything to God, we stand at the back of the line as if our needs are important. We need to flip the script. There is no line. What are you waiting for? God is omnipresent. While he sees me here in Ohio, he sees Darcy in Florida, Houston in North Carolina, Jonah in the Philippines. His presence here with me does not cause his absence there with you. He is here, he is there, and he is everywhere. And we are the ones putting limits on God, but he is unlimited. In Genesis 1, we read of God creating the heavens and the earth in 6 days. And then it says in verse 31, then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. He saw it all. He saw the mountains, he saw the seas, the islands, the deserts, the constellations, the faraway planets, the depth of the universe that we will never even discover. He saw it and decided it was very good. He was here and there at the same time. His eye was on the millions of stars while he designed the details of the rivers on earth. Just as he watches me today, he is watching you today. He responds to my prayers and your prayers all at the same time, and he isn't the slightest bit overwhelmed. Isn't that nice just to think about that? You're not burdening God with your requests. You're not stealing his power from anyone in greater need. If you have a fire raging in your life, talk to God about it, but you don't have to wait until the flames are a threat. You can talk to God before there's even a hint of smoke. He cares. He's here, and his power is for you. You remember the story of the 3 guys who were thrown into a fiery furnace by the king because they refused to worship his golden statue? I've always loved this story. It's just so good. The story about the 3 guys with the names I am probably unable to pronounce, once again, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how these guys had so much faith in God. When I first read this story, I was just new in my faith, and I was on a mission in knowing what he could do in my life. So I read up. I learned about this God who could save these guys from going in the fire, but he didn't. I learned about this God who let people of unshakable faith go right into the fire when he could have stopped it. And then I learned about a God who used it all for good, a God who had a bigger plan at work, and through the fire, he would work. Through the fire, God works. I would rather he never allow the fires sometimes. I would prefer a preventative measure, give me the fire hose, but then I would probably complain about the soaking water and ask for it to be dry. Sometimes God soaks us in a torrential downpour, and sometimes he allows wildfires to grow, but this is God working. This is our opportunity to trust. Read the story in Daniel 3. What I love most about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is that they had so much faith in God, they said to the threatening king, if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it. But even if he does not, we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. God is able to save us from the fire, but even if he does not, I will trust him. That's the key here. Even when, whatever you're going through right now, God sees it and he cares about it. You can ask him to help you here. He's not too busy. His eye is on you and every detail concerning you. He may put out the fire immediately, and he may not. He may let you walk right through this fire so that you can feel the heat. But here's the promise. He will be right there with you. You will not walk this alone. When the king looked into the furnace, he was amazed to see, this is the best part, I love it. He was amazed to see 4 in the fire instead of just 3. He then knew their God was in the fire with them, and this changed everything. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walked out of that fire unharmed, and the king vowed to follow their God. And as the leader of the country, he led others to faith as well. How you walk through this fire makes a difference in not only your life, but in the lives of others. Others are watching you. Will they see you walking with God? Will they see you struggle and keep going in faith? Will they see how God uses all for this for good? You don't have to hide your struggles. If you hide your struggles, you hide how God strengthens as well. We're all here struggling together. We're all staring down fires and fighting flames, and not a single one of us is alone. In this fire with you is a mighty God who sees it all, knows it all, and is using it all for good. Talk about short and sweet, powerful. This story is so epic, and I love it. And we're going to end it right there because I know I'm fired up. That's all we need today. So if you're wanting even more fire in your day, there's so much for you to do so. You can follow me on Instagram, snag a copy of my book set free on Amazon, join us in Fit and Fierce for the Flip the Script one-on-one nutrition coaching and the next retreat. You can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. Go to JillAllenCoaching.com for all updates and join the Just Breathe Facebook group. We would love to connect with you. You can even join our mission team as we are heading to Kauai in June. Heads up, on the next episode, we are talking about how you will show up today when in reality you feel unequipped and unprepared for. So be sure to pop back in next week. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I pray that we filled your heart with joy. If you could let us know before hopping off here, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.